Hey folks, it is Thursday, March 20th, 2025, week 4 of my healing journey. I think this is day 28, and I'm feeling much better, feeling stronger each day, more increased range of motion. Still not quite back to normal, but doing better. Today I actually just got back from my echocardiogram, one of the tests that needed to be done prior to chemotherapy. Then next week I have my CAT scan and PET scan. So I'll get my results from the echocardiogram in about a day or two. Praying that all is well, and I know things are going as expected. I am still standing on my healing. And this week has been a really good week. It's been a week of appointments, resting, meditation, counseling, and therapy. I've also had some time to exercise as well. So here's my week at a glance. Hello, I am at my plastic surgeon's office here for my second fill of my tissue expanders. So I'm gonna get ready to do it. I just got back from my plastic surgeon's office. I had an appointment for my second fill of my tissue expanders today, and they filled it with 75 cc's of saline this time, which is up from 50 last week, and they're hoping next week to fill 100 cc's at once, depending on how well I tolerate this. So this process of filling the tissue expanders will be taking place over the next month or so, and so far so good. I've had a really good week, hit a lot of milestones. I went for my first outdoor walk since surgery, a walk around my neighborhood, and this past Sunday, and had a chance to just kind of sit and spend time with my kids, my cousin who's visiting, and just to enjoy the fresh air and the sunlight, to be outside. It was so nice and just restorative. So really enjoyed that, being able to get outdoors. I've also been back to the gym a couple of times, trying to improve my strength and just doing some physical therapy on my own before my physical therapy officially starts, but really kind of focusing on rebuilding my stamina, and doing a lot of cardio, just mainly walking, cycling on the stationary bike, adding in a little bit of strength training with leg presses, and hoping to be able to start doing some upper body work to restore my range of motion, which it's been improving gradually since surgery, but it's nowhere near where I was pre-surgery. And so I really want to make sure I regain, full range of motion. Let's see, some other milestones this week. I was able to get back to the keys and, played the piano keyboard during just an impromptu morning worship. My cousin and I, she's visiting and kind of taking really good care of me. And I think Tuesday morning, she was in the kitchen just listening to her music and worshiping, and I was in my room. I just woke up for the morning and listening to my gospel music, and lo and behold, we were both listening to the same song in different rooms and both worshiping, and it was Trusting God by Aware Worship. And when I overheard the song that she was listening to, and she's singing in the kitchen, and I'm listening and worshiping in the room, I started calling her. I was like, "Hey, Donna, oh my goodness, we're listening to the same song." And it felt like it was, the presence of God was just really with us and speaking to us, even though we were in two kind of separate spaces. And so that brought us together in this moment of spontaneous worship. No practice, no rehearsal, just came together and had this beautiful moment of sharing in this healing journey. You will never fail. And music therapy goes a long way. So just let's see. I think the other thing I haven't shared with you all yet is just updates on my oncology appointment. So I had my first oncology appointment last Friday with my medical oncologist. I also met with my nurse navigator and my oncology social worker, and they discussed their services that they provide. The nurse navigator helps me with scheduling appointments, making sure that I am able to be compliant with the care and just supporting me in terms of managing and juggling all the appointments. And the oncology social worker was able to connect me with a wealth of resources that I didn't even realize existed for cancer patients, from grants for food support, bill assistance with paying like utilities and rent assistance, and then also with resources for the whole family, such as childcare, such as summer camps, after school care for school-aged children, peer-to-peer support groups for cancer patients, as well as a mentor, so someone that would match you or match me, the patient, with another cancer survivor with a similar or same diagnosis, who can help navigate some of the processes and procedures and along the cancer journey. So all along the way, I never have to feel alone. My radiation oncologist for my radiation oncology consult, and he had reviewed my medical records and came to the surprising conclusion that no radiation therapy, he would not be recommending any radiation therapy. And actually surprised my medical oncologist. It also was different from what my breast surgeon was expecting, and also very different from what I was expecting, as well as from what a lot of the research and medical literature says about women with my particular type of breast cancer, and additional lymph node involvement and extranodal extensions, which is when the cancer is basically kind of bursting from the lymph node. And so, given that he's not recommending radiation, and I did not get an axillary lymph node dissection, which is when the lymph nodes are removed when, there is cancer. I don't want to be undertreated. I was actually initially happy about not having to have radiation, but then also started wondering, is this the best course of action? Is this I just need to know for sure. Because this is my health, and I only get one life to live, so I'm going to make sure that I'm advocating for myself. So I did request a second opinion from Dana-Farber, which I'll be getting. I have an appointment scheduled in about 2 weeks to give me a second opinion about radiation therapy. My medical oncologist also talked through some of the nuances of determining whether or not chemotherapy would be needed, and she ordered an Oncotype DX test, which my insurance subsequently denied because based on all of the research and medical literature in women in my particular situation, premenopausal, positive lymph node, and extranodal extensions, that chemotherapy is automatically indicated. And so the Oncotype DX test, which would help you decide whether or not chemotherapy is of benefit, would not be relevant. It's not medically necessary in my case because the evidence shows that chemotherapy is indicated. And while my doctors have not yet staged the cancer, going into surgery, my breast surgeon said her best guess was stage 1 just based on tumor size, but they used tumor size, lymph node involvement, and metastasis to determine what your exact stage is. And so we didn't have all of the information needed to actually stage. So coming out of surgery, we at least now know not just the tumor size, which was I think 8 millimeters for the primary tumor, but also we know that there is lymph node involvement. And the lymph node involvement, I think the lymph node was about 11 millimeters. And the extranodal extensions, there were about 3 extranodal extensions, each measuring around 3 millimeters or more. Basically, with all of those indications that I just shared, it would be at least a stage 2 based on the tumor and the lymph node involvement. The only other missing piece of the puzzle to help stage is the extent of metastases, which is how much the cancer may have spread. And they do know that it has spread to at least that one lymph node, but they haven't tested the rest of the lymph nodes. They have also additional tests ordered, the CAT scan, the PET scan, for my brain and bones, and just to check the rest of my body. And so that's scheduled for next week. And by then we'll have all the pieces of the puzzle and they'll be able to fully stage it. But just given the information we have now, it looks like it's at least a stage 2.
So you can have stage 2 breast cancer with a tumor that's quite small if 1 to 3 lymph nodes are involved. For example, a tumor that's only 1 centimeter sounds like a stage 1 cancer, but because the lymph nodes are involved, it's stage 2.
So in addition to surgery, typically chemotherapy is indicated, and where there's lymph node involvement, radiation therapy is also indicated.
Even in people who have mastectomy, if the lymph nodes are positive, we will often recommend post-mastectomy radiation therapy, because even when the breast has been removed, cancer can come back in the skin around the incision, or again in the armpit lymph nodes, or even the lymph nodes above the clavicle. I know it sounds like a lot of treatment. The point of treatment in stage 2 breast cancer is cure. Chemotherapy is what you and I think about when we think about people getting treated for breast cancer. Most chemotherapy causes us to lose our hair. Chemotherapy is given for a short amount of time, not short enough, but 3 to 6 months is generally what chemotherapy is given for.
And then additionally, my medical oncologist told me that I'll be needing hormone therapy. I'll be on it for about 7 years. It's basically a pill that will shut off my ovaries and throw me into menopause, and basically it stops the female hormones that have been feeding the cancer, so it decreases significantly, decreases the likelihood of recurrence. So again, there are side effects, but again, the benefits outweigh the risks. But so far, I'm feeling better each day, feeling encouraged. There are moments where I feel, I'm kind of like mourning the loss of my breasts, mourning the loss of my health. I'm feeling a little, kind of sad. I've never been like sick before, I was the kid who always had perfect attendance at school. And, showed up to work every day, rarely ever took a day off kind of thing. And so now being in this position where I'm having to not only take a leave of absence, but for this kind of being a chronic illness that's like over a period of time, and there's a lot of uncertainty in terms of timelines and how long and like how will I feel during chemotherapy, and will I be able to work through chemotherapy. Just a lot of kind of unknowns that I'm already kind of thinking about, but trying not to sweat it, just taking it one day at a time, and again, trusting the process, trusting God all the way.